guys, Dr. Presas here, coming to you from the North Dallas Spine Center. And today we want to demonstrate what a NUCCA spinal correction looks like. We have our lovely patient here, Daniela, who's going to demonstrate for us as we perform that correction. Now, when we took her x-rays revealed a lot of imbalance and a lot of misalignment at the very top of her spine, at the very top of her neck. Now, that's super important because that's the area of where the head sits on top of. Now, when that bone gets shifted, that ends up throwing off the head, and it creates kind of like a chain reaction down the entire posture, down the entire spine. Now, that can cause more weight to get distributed onto one side, which creates a lot of compression, a lot of irritation, and also a lot of wear and tear down the road as well. So I want to make sure that we have that as balanced as possible to create that shift and that stabilization of the condition. Now, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. If you can follow me this way. So when I talk about the top of the spine, we're talking about the C1 and C2 area. So this is the top of the spine here. Now, when things get shifted up top for different reasons, that's going to end up throwing off the head, like I mentioned. Now, because the head weighs quite a bit, it weighs 10 to 14 pounds, almost like a bowling ball, that creates a chain reaction down the entire structure here. So when things get off balance here, they tend to compensate. So we'll see one shoulder drop, for example, one hip will elevate, and that creates an uneven distribution or distortion of the entire weight balance of the body. And that can leave the person vulnerable to all these symptoms here: neck issues, low back issues, hip issues, just to name a few. But we have found that a lot of this that we're finding here tends to be one of the major underlying root causes when it comes to the treatment of disc issues, all types of spinal issues, pain down the leg, pain down the arm, and so forth. So we'll come back over here and I'll show you exactly how this correction works. So we have x-rays to go by, so I have measurements that I'm going to utilize to determine where I need to stand to perform the correction. So there's no guessing game involved. There's also no twisting or popping as well. So everything's precise and very gentle and exact to that particular patient. So we'll start the correction here. So I'm going to take a tape measure to determine where I need to stand based on her listings, based on her measurements. And our contact point is going to be the first neck bone right up here. That's C1. So I'll take my measurements here. And that tells me where I need to stand to perform that correction. So the correction that I'm using here, it's almost like a pulling style of correction. There's nothing forceful about it. It's very gentle. And I'll typically perform about 4 to 5 pulls on the top of the spine here. It can vary from person to person. And all the patient will feel typically is almost like I'm checking the pulse of their neck. It's very good, and there you have it. So that is a NUCCA spinal correction. Very precise, very exact, no twisting or popping, and it gets excellent results. All right, guys, thank you.